Hello viewers, so we have this question under kinematics. This is motion in one dimension. It's saying two cars A and B travel along the same road in the same direction from the same starting place. Car A maintains a speed of 60 kilometers per hour and car B 75 kilometers per hour. But B starts 1 hour later. How many hours will it take for B to overtake A? What is the distance traveled by the cars when they meet? So we're given the information and we are told to find how many hours it will take for B to overtake A. So let's start by visualizing what is happening here. Let's use a diagram to understand what is happening. So let's say we have a road. That's the road we have. And then our starting point is that one. And we have car A and car B at this starting point. So let's put car A there and let's put car B here. So we have these two cars. They are all starting at the same place and they are moving in the same direction. So this is going in this direction. Car B is also going in the same direction. So let's have another part showing the next part. So we are still at the beginning here, but then we are told to say B will remain at the beginning here. B will still be at the starting point, but A would have started moving because they are saying B will start moving an hour later after A has started moving. So in this case, what we are saying is B is still at the starting point, but A has traveled a certain distance from the starting point because it has started moving an hour before B started moving. So yeah, so it would have covered a certain distance to a certain point before B starts to move. So now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to calculate the distance that A has covered before B starts moving. Okay, so let's do that. So to find that distance, we're going to use the formula, a familiar formula that says speed, V for speed, is equal to distance divided by time. So this is the formula we're using, and making d the subject, will say d is equal to speed multiplied by time. And this will be equal to the speed we're talking about here is the speed of car A, which is given to be 60 kilometers per hour. So replacing with that, we're going to say we have 60 kilometers per hour right there. And this is multiplying by the time that it has used is 1 hour. So we're multiplying that by 1 hour. All right. So from what we have here, we can see the unit of hour and hour are going to cancel. And our distance will be in the units of kilometers. So 60 kilometers is the distance we are finding. And this distance that we have here is the distance that car A has covered before car B started moving. So let's also bring this on our diagram. We are saying the distance now that car A has covered from the starting point is 60 kilometers. So we can see this is the distance gap that we have between car A and car B. Before B starts to move, car A has covered a distance of 60 kilometers. Yeah, so that's our first step. Our second step is now calculating what we call relative speed. What is this relative speed? Now, relative speed of an object is the speed or its speed is observed from another point. For example, here we're using car A and car B. The relative speed of car B, according to car A, is the speed is observed from car A. And the relative speed of car A to car B is the speed of car A is observed from car B. Yeah, so that's what we have here, and that's what we are calculating. Now, when you are having objects moving in the same direction, in this case, we have cars that are moving in the same direction, your relative speed will just be the difference between their speeds. So let's do that. So we'll say relative speed now. Relative speed, in this case, we're talking about speed in terms of B is related to A. Yeah, so this is equal to the speed of B subtracted by the speed of A. Now, we are saying if the objects are moving or going in the same direction, all you have to do is subtract their speeds. So here for B, we have 75 kilometers per hour, and this will be subtracted by 60 kilometers per hour. And when we do that, what we are getting is 75 minus 60 is 15 kilometers. This is per hour, like that. So that's what we have as our relative speed. So the key point to take here is if objects are moving in the same direction, or if objects are going in the same direction. In this case, we're talking about vehicles, cars that are moving in the same direction. For you to find their relative speed, you find their difference, the difference between their speeds. So in this case, we're talking about the speed of car B minus the speed of car A. So yeah, we have 15 kilometers per hour as our relative speed. After calculating that, we can now go ahead and find the time it would take for this vehicle to basically overtake the other. So how do we find that? The formula we need for that is time. The time that it will take to overtake is equal to the distance gap, or the distance between the vehicles. So let's call it the distance gap, then divided by relative speed. So this is what we have, divided by relative speed, like that. And this will be equal to, our time will be equal to, what we have there is the distance gap that we calculated earlier on is 60 kilometers. So 60 kilometers is the distance we found to say car B started after car A has covered a distance of 60 kilometers. Then divided by relative speed, the relative speed we have is 15 kilometers per hour. Yes, so we can see the unit of kilometers and kilometers will go, and our time will be in hours. So time is equal to 60 divided by 15. According to my calculator, I'm getting 4. So it means it will take car B 4 hours in order for it to overtake car A. So this is the time we're looking for. So how many hours will it take for B to overtake A? That's 4 hours. It will take 4 hours for B to overtake car A. Let's go ahead and answer the other part. The other part is saying, what is the distance traveled by the cars when they meet? So let's do that. So to find that distance, we are still using the same formula that says speed is equal to distance over time, and our distance will be equal to speed multiplied by time in that case. And then this is equal to, we can use car A or car B to find this distance. So let's use car B. B has a speed of 75 kilometers per hour. and this is multiplying by the time taken is what we have calculated. So multiplied by 4 hours. And when we do our mathematics here, what we are getting is, according to my calculator, so according to my calculator here, I'm getting a 300. So 300 kilometers is the distance that the vehicles have covered when they met, at the point they met. So 300 kilometers is the distance that these two cars have covered in order for them to meet. So we can also, as I said earlier, we can also use car A to find this distance. How can we use that? So we can use it in this format, still using the same formula. We're going to say, now let me just separate this. Yeah. So we're going to say distance is equal to speed multiplied by time still, and this is equal to the speed for car A is 60 kilometers per hour, and this will multiply by, now remember the 4 hours, the 4 hours that we calculated here, this is the time that it has taken car B to reach where car A is. But remember, car B started after car A has already covered an hour of time. So it means by this time, after car B has covered 4 hours, by this time car A has covered 5 hours. 4 hours plus that hour it covered before B. So it means the time we're going to use is 5 hours instead of 4 hours in this case. So yeah, here we are writing 5 hours. And when you multiply 60 uh, by 5, you are still getting 300. So despite the vehicle you choose, the car you choose, you are still going to get the same value. So this is how we solve this question. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like, comment, and this will be a motivation for me to help more.